best.
Now, treasures including a gold crown and a royal dress, which were taken from Ethiopia by the British 150 years ago, could be returned to Ethiopia by the Victoria and Albert Museum on long-term loan basis. Lisa Marie Mitztak went to see the treasures at the centre of this row.
Beautifully written manuscripts, a meticulously crafted golden crown, silver jewellery. These are some of the items that were plundered in Ethiopia during the Battle of Magdala in April 1868. The royal and religious treasures were taken when a British expeditionary force laid siege to the mountain fortress of Emperor Tewodros II in what was then Abyssinia. This was in response to the emperor's imprisonment of Europeans.
As the year 2019 marks 400 years since the commencement of the transatlantic slave trade, Ghanaian artist Kwame Akoto-Bamfo has been sculpting hundreds of faces to represent the men and women who fell victim to slavery. Akoto-Bamfo has placed the sculptures in Adafoa, which was a major slave market in the 19th century when the region was under British rule.
What I hope to do is to capture an experience and let this art trigger a dialogue about who we are as an African people, who we were before, and then where we are going, especially with something like the transatlantic slave trade and the Saharan slave trade and racism having happened as a result, you know, of this atrocity.
Imperial state crown. Anyone who's been to the Jewel House at the Tower of London will know there are several crowns to be seen there.
A bill will be introduced to ensure that children can be adopted by new families without delay, improve the standard of social work and opportunities for young people in care in England, to tackle poverty and the causes of deprivation, including family instability, addiction and debt.
It's time to get serious from here on in. At number 6, we're talking about the Queen's sweet rides. That's right, here come the cars. The Queen is in possession of a number of extremely pricey vehicles. She tends to ride in her Bentley State Limo, which is both bulletproof and bomb-proof. She's got 2 of those, by the way. She also has a number of Rolls Royces, a snazzy 1984 Jaguar, a 2001 Jaguar, a 2015 Range Rover LWB Landaulet, and her favourite car, the Land Rover Defender. Her car collection is thought to be worth $12 million. Coming in at number 5, we have something that the Queen does not own yet but could be in the pipeline. We have a $128 million yacht. The Queen still owns the now decommissioned HMY Britannia, however it was taken out of service in 1997.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel here. It's Lavender here, and today I am back with another Pure Evil Files series. Today I am back with, I'm going to be doing the Pure Evil, the Royal Family Exposed Files series. So let's get started into this exposing series. So here we go. So I decided to do this video because, again, I have a series on my channel where I just expose corporations, companies, industries, people, etc., etc. I'm gonna link the playlist in the description down below if you want to check out my other videos on that. So yeah, let's get started into this video. So yeah, there are multiple reasons why people think the royal family is evil. You know, there are reasons why people hate the royal family. Here are some in no particular order. So, number 1, the brutal colonization of the earth and the world and imperialism around the globe. Whether that is looting, genocide, stolen artifacts, slavery, etc. Number 2, their bougie capitalist pig lifestyle and out-of-touch parasital ways. Because they're parasites. They have no, there's nothing, they don't benefit anything, they're just parasites. So let's get started into this video. So here we go. So here is not all the history, obviously, of the royal family, but here are some of the key points I want to talk about. So the slave trade was pioneered under the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. She allowed John Hawkins to kidnap slaves from Africa and sell them in the Caribbean. The profits were tremendous from all this, and King Charles II also encouraged the expansion of the slave trade, and he was a big part in the overall British, English slave trade. Queen Victoria's genocide during her rule, the Great Hunger Famine. This famine caused the death of 1 million men, women, and children during her time in power. The Queen did donate £2,000 to aid victims of the famine crisis, as royal protocol dictated no one would be allowed to appear more generous than the Queen herself. When the Sultan of Turkey offered £10,000, nearly $2 million in today's currency, he was told to reduce it to below £2,000 so he would not offend the Majesty. There is no evidence that the Queen Victoria had any real compassion or any sympathy, because she's a psychopath, for the Irish people in any way. In her very long reign, as being Queen of England, she only visited Ireland 4 times, and one of those times was 1849, when the famine was still ongoing and raging, and yet she didn't do anything. Queen Victoria is looting around the earth and the world in different countries, such as the golden tiger's head with rock crystal eyes and teeth wrenched from the throne of Tipu Sultan of Mysore during the storming of Serinpam in 1799, in which Sultan was killed, presented to William IV by East India Company officials in 1831. The antelope leather cap said to have belonged to Gaddafi Kivirdi, the king of the Asante Kingdom, with stripes of hammered gold in the form of a crocodile, suggesting its scaly skin. The cap was taken when he was disposed of by the British Empire and the British troops in the Asahi War of 1874, and Sir Garnet Wolseley oversaw the looting of the royal palaces in Kasumbi. The carved wooden slit drum of Emir Wad Biskara, taken after his defeat at the bloody Battle of Omdurman in 1898, when British Maxim machines mowed down 12,000 people and wounded over 13,000 more people. It was presented as a trophy to Queen Victoria by McGinn Halbert Kissinger, the commander-in-chief of the Egyptian army. The pair of carved ivory leopards, their spots rendered in copper, presented to Queen Victoria in 1897 by Sir Henry Wroxton after he infamously sacked and looted Benin City, Nigeria in 1897, removing the Abba, the king in the area of Nigeria, and sending him into exile. Queen Victoria went as far as to have a purposely built exhibit made for such objects and all the artifacts that were stolen in violent coups of other countries during her time in power. Queen Victoria had an Indian servant called Abdul, who she treated as an exotic pet. Abdul's fellow countrymen and women suffered terribly in India. In the years 1876 through 1879 and 1896 through 1902, 12 to 30 million Indians died from starvation. During her time in power, the UK benefited immensely from plundering the resources of other countries, including India. Britain made nearly $45 trillion from India. Prince Ali Moni, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, it's in Ethiopian. After the Battle of Magdala, British forces left with manuscripts, crowns, crosses, religious icons, royal and elastic investment shields and arms, and other stolen artifacts from Africa. And Prince Ali Moon of Ethiopia, the young prince, was taken to Britain. He later died of lung disease. Queen Victoria mentioned the death of the young prince in her diary, saying what a good and kind boy he had been, and how it was sad that he should die so far away from his family. She also mentioned how very unhappy the prince had been and how conscious he was of people staring at him because of his skin color. Sarah Forbes Bona this is not the birth name given to the girl who was sold into slavery at age 4. Her parents were tribal royalty of the Igobano clan, but they were killed in a brutal raid on her village by imperialist colonizers that wanted to turn her into a slave. She was presented as a diplomatic gift to a captain of the British Navy, Frederick Forbes, and brought to England. Queen Victoria wrote in her vintage journal diary in 1851 that Bontetta was really an intelligent little thing. Several African countries have requested the return of artifacts, including the prince, by European powers, but that none of that has ever been, followed through. But that was just some of the older examples of why the royal family is so evil. Here are some modern day examples why the royal family is so evil. Though most African countries have successfully recovered some of their stolen artifacts and valuables from the colonizer British royal family, the world's largest diamond, referred to as the Star of Africa, that was taken from South Africa during colonization, might never leave the British Crown Jewel collection. The diamonds, as they are formerly known as the Colon diamonds, remains the largest diamond ever found on Earth. The stone was discovered near Pretoria in South Africa on January 26, 1905. There has been many attempts by the royal family to go under the radar to, remove homeless people from the streets before the big day of the royal weddings. Police officers removed sleeping bags and belongings of homeless people living on the streets outside Windsor Castle, but promised to return them after the royal wedding was over. Police said that they were offering the homeless an opportunity to stay in an area and store their belongings until after the big day of the royal wedding, which was, I think, the Prince Meghan Markle and Prince Harry wedding. So while Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were having the time of their lives and their capless pig bourgeoisie wedding, bougie wedding lifestyle, homeless people were being pushed around and exploited on the streets, just because they were having like this very extravagant, rich, wedding. So I don't know why people are always like stuck up Meghan Markle's and Prince Harry's asses. Meghan Markle is compliant with all this because she knew what these people, were, and she still decided to get married to one of them. So I don't really buy her like crocodile tears about how awful the royal family has been to her or whatever, because she knew exactly what she was getting herself into. The royal family that live a lavish luxury lifestyle have been quoted saying, "Poverty is being ignored and more should be done to fight it." That is a quote by Queen Elizabeth II. Poor people and their problems don't get reported very often, and they need all the assistance they can get. Elizabeth II quoted that. While at the same damn time, they're giving speeches about poverty against expensive gold and diamond-encrusted crowns and pianos. Queen Elizabeth II had to give her mandatory Christmas Day speech, which involved a talk about poverty and how bad poverty is, and ironically, it was in front of a golden piano statue. Talk about out of touch. So yeah, I'm going to put all the link to all my sources in the description down below. If you guys like this video, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye guys, see you in this video.